Okay, let's get going. Oh, let's see, get on there. Hey, it is Tuesday afternoon, 2 o'clock, time for some yoga. Today we're going to start with a nice beginner level flow, and then we've got some poses that are specifically for better posture. The better our posture, there are a whole lot of things that get affected by posture, digestion, energy level, critical thinking, all of that is affected by your posture and your alignment. So we're going to work on a little bit of that today with some longer poses on the second section of the workout. But we're going to start with a nice beginner flow. We've done this one before, so we're going to start with cat-cow, going into our down dog, our fold, our mountain, back bend, our warrior sequence. If you've got a little block, you might need it for the half moon. I always need a block for the half moon. And then some seated poses, and then we'll go into our posture poses. So let's get going. We're going to hold these poses for about 2 to 3 seconds each. Maybe do a couple repetitions of them. So just follow along. And let's do our cat-cow. Just hold each position. We'll do this one a couple of times. Into the cat, stretch. Release into the cow. Stretch up into your cat. One more time. We've got our cow pose. And our cat. Oh, stretching out that back. Nice. Let's get up into our first down dog of the day. Pedal those feet out. Woo. Hang out here for a second, pedal it out, pedal it out. My heels are starting to get a little closer. That's kind of nice. And bring your feet to the center of your mat. We've got our forward fold. Remember, it doesn't matter if your knees are bent. Couple breaths here. Up into our mountain. Be cautious as you're coming up. Slowly. I'm looking backwards. Releasing our back bend. Let's bring our right foot forward first for warrior one. Nice and strong. The right foot forward for this first section. And let's release into warrior two to the side. And if you've got warrior three available to you, it's a balancing act right now. Woo! Check out a couple seconds of that. All right. And we got our triangle pose. Stretching to the right first of all. Legs are straight. And down into the half moon. Bend that knee for side angle pose. Woo. And then we're going to go back down into our down dog for a second, and we'll repeat that warrior sequence to the other side. Just a few seconds in each pose today, because we're going to spend the bulk of the time on the postures. For the posture at the end, we're just warming up. Everything warmed up. Pedal those feet. Woo, to the middle of your mat, forward fold. Up into our mountain. Back bend. Left foot forward. Warrior one, left. Nice and strong. You can feel it in your core. Open it up for warrior two. Gaze down your hand. through your fingertips. Again, move into your warrior three if you've got it for this position. You can even hang on to something. Assisted warrior three. It's all about the balance. Whew. I'm going to turn here. We've got triangle to the left. And I need my prop on the other side. Whew. For half moon. You can also use a couch or a chair for props. This pose is actually really good for the hip. Do that in the hip. Whew. And now we got side angle on the left. Stretching that over. And let's take it back down to down dog and pedal it back out. And both sides should feel even. Whew. Pedal it out, push those shoulders to the ground. Come to the center of the mat, facing forward. Let's do our mountain. A little bit of a back bend. And then let's get down into our chair pose. Remember, you want to eventually get to where your knees and your hips are parallel. Whatever is accessible to you at any given time is good. You feel this right in the top of the quads. And we're down to chaturanga. Really slowly up to cobra. And we're going to add a down dog in here, just for good measure, like our down dogs. Very beneficial. And then we're going to bring the right foot forward for pigeon. A nice stretch. Couple of seconds here. And back it on up, back to down dog. Get those shoulders even closer to the mat. And bring the left leg forward for pigeon. Ooh, that left leg is always tighter on me. Ooh. And back up to down dog. I like to put down dog in between a bunch of these poses. It's a nice resting pose, but also you're still working on lengthening the back of the legs and the hamstrings. Always a good go-to move. And let's come to seated. Instruction. Let's see which direction I want to face today. Forward fold. Remember, you can have your knees bent. Just grab the toes. Make sure your back is straight. You're pulling toward the toes. Eventually, the legs will straighten. All right. Whew. Now you should be ready to hold the rest of these poses a little bit longer. First pose, and we're going to take all of these about 5 or 6 breaths, so really deepen into these poses. Feel the longer that you hold the pose, that the muscle will start to release. And you can feel several different levels of release as we do these. So we're going to start in a cobra. And you can have your cobra here, here, or anywhere in between. This is going to strengthen your lower back and also your abs. So we're just going to hold this for about 5 or 6 breaths. We're going to do this whole sequence several times. Breathe into the belly. And release. Head to the floor for a second, release that. Our next pose is bound locust, if you have that available to you. The regular locust is where we go like this, legs and arms up off the ground. Bound locust, you're gonna bind your hands behind as you come up. And let's go for 5 or 6 breaths. And release. Now you're gonna take your right arm out. Turning toward the left, but your arm is extended. This is a stretch for the upper shoulders. Kind of don't spend enough time there on the upper shoulders. You're gonna feel this right in the armpit area. Extending that, using the weight of your body and the hardness of the floor to give you that nice stretch in the arm, the shoulder. Couple more breaths here. And release to the other side. The left arm out, turn to the right. One more breath here. And release. Look to a seated position. We've done this one before. We'll go to both sides on this one. Nice cross-legged position. Hand behind in the binding. See if you can reach your fingertips together. If you need to, you can use a cloth, a strap between your two hands. The main idea of what we're doing here is we're opening up the chest in all these different positions, the chest and the shoulders, upper back, so we can breathe easier, our digestion is going to be easier, get the flow of blood moving through these areas that sometimes we slump as we're working at home. We slouch, we slump, we don't sit up like we should. We need to make sure we're paying attention as we're working at home on our computers, and we're taking these breaks to equalize and get everything back straight into alignment. And release. Roll the shoulders a little bit. Let's take that to the other side. One side will be easier than the other. Grab those hands behind. Again, the longer you hold these poses, the more release you're going to feel as you get past the superficial and back down into the deeper portion of this where we're holding stress in our bodies. And let's release from that. Let's get back into our down dog for a second here. Cleanse that, release the back. It's a powerful cleansing pose. Reach those shoulders to the ground. Hinging from the hips. And next up, we are back down for a bridge hold. We do a lot of bridges. We do lots of variations on bridges. Very beneficial to the lower back. So let's just get up into our our bridge hold. We'll do fish later in the sequence. We did that a couple weeks ago. It's a little bit more extended of a, more like an extension to the bridge pose. It's just the next stage, going almost into wheel. Few more breaths here. You feel your glutes tightening, your quads engaged. And release. Whew. Now we are into our runner's lunge, which is a little different. From pigeon, we're raised up from the ground. We've got our knee into our armpit, basically, palms to the ground. Really nice stretch to both the quad on one leg and the hip flexor on the other. I don't do these enough. Every day. God do every day. And back down into down dog. Pedal it out, pedal it out. Shoulders to the mat. And let's bring that left leg in for the runner's lunge. Shoulder into the knee. Knee into the armpit. Up on the toes on the back foot. Palms to the ground. Feel that stretch, feel that release. One more breath here. And back to down dog. Whew. Now we are back to our laying on our back. One knee in the air. Put your right knee, let's do right first. And cross over. Stretching out that right arm to the opposite direction. A little bit of a twist. Make sure that bottom foot is grounded. Your whole bottom leg is touching the ground. And aim to have that knee of the other leg. Don't let your hip get out of control on the left side. This is one that you can stay in for a couple minutes even and feel more and more things relax as you go. And let's unwind from that and get the other side. Left arm extended, right knee or left knee up and over to the right. Ooh, there goes my back. One more breath here. Whew. And release. Let's massage that lower back a little bit. Grab your knees into your chest and roll it around. I like to add a few things here and there as we're going, depending on what it feels like we need to do. And we are ready. Oh, yes, almost forgot fish pose. This is our secondary to the bridge. Well, remember, with the fish pose, you're gonna anchor your elbows, raise to the top of your head on the mat. So the top of your head is going to come up as far as you can on the mat. And you can extend your legs, you can have them bent. All versions of this. Hands can be traditionally sort of like this. Whatever's available to you. Coming into the realm of back bends. This is the beginning. One more breath here. And gently release. Whew. And we are ready to start that sequence again. One more time. Try and take your cobra this time a little deeper than you did last time, if that's accessible to you. 5 or 6 breaths here. And release. Ooh, moving into locust. The bound hands, if you have that accessible to you. Nice. Shoulders. Right arm out. Twist to the left. Lift knee up. Just dig in. Feel that stretch in the shoulder. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. And releasing to the other side. Left arm out. Twisting to the right. Right knee up. Feel it in that shoulder, the left shoulder. Nice deep stretch. Feel it in your shoulder blades, on the back side as well. And release. Woo. Come to seated for our arm binds. Let's do it the opposite way first this time, whichever arm you did second last time, do that one first. Do it in the opposite order. See if you can get a little deeper with that. This position also forces your chest open. As just as a, and what happens when you do this one. Kind of a nice side effect. Feel strong posture-wise. And release. Let's take that to the other side. You can always just grab the back of your shirt if you can't reach all the way too. And release. Coming into our down dog. Ooh, nice. So shoulders closer and closer to the ground. Hinging at the hips. Heels aiming toward the floor. Ooh, very nice. It's a nice palate cleanser. And we're into our bridge. Hold this about 10 breaths this time. Really dig into it. And release. Let's roll that back out a little bit. Grab those knees into the chest. Roll it around. Yoga is so good because there's always an equal and opposite action to combine and combat all the tension you put in your body one direction. You can do it the opposite direction and even it out. Woo. And we are runner's lunge, left foot forward, or right foot forward, sorry. Ease into that. On the toes on the back. Feel grounded through the heel and the front foot. Hands, palms to the ground. One more breath here. And down dog. Woo! Moving into runner's lunge on the left. Two more breaths here. And back down to down dog. Woo. Nice. Woo. And down for our twists. Flat on the mat again. Oh, let's do it the opposite direction this time first. Let's take that left knee across. Left arm out. Encourage that knee to come closer to the ground. And release to center. Other side. Right arm out. One more breath here. See if you can get one more release. And back to center. Let's bring both knees up, roll it around, massage that lower back. Those twists can be a little deep sometimes. Just equal it out, a little bit of love on that lower back. Woo. Let's stretch it out. Right leg, full stretch. Woo. Left knee in, pull it hard into your chest. And the opposite, left leg, full stretch. Right knee, hard in. Use your strength of your arms. Woo. Right leg again, and then we're gonna lay it down. Left leg, stretch to meet it. Lay it down. Adjust your back. Make sure your back is not bowed. All your back is touching the ground. Wiggle it in. Arms to the side. Let your feet fall apart. And just relax for a minute. And all the tension of the day fall away. And bring your attention back. Start wiggling your toes and your fingers. Do a little ankle roll. Like to move my legs up and down a little bit, bring that blood flow back. A little bit of a Shavasana brings you the anxiety and tension level of the day down quite a bit. It's always good. Let's roll to the side and back up to seated position. Butterfly the legs for a second. Ooh, stretch out those inner thighs. Hands to heart. Namaste. We are done. Woohoo!